Idols come in many kinds, and the boundary of what an idol can be is always changing. Bushiroad proved that by forcing them to not only dance and sing, but also play instruments, making it less like an idol thing, but more of a band thing. Or in other words, idols with extra steps. But they thought they could fool us again with D4DJ, which aren't idols because they are DJs. Except only one of them in the group is a DJ, and the rest end up dancing and singing, and screw it, even the DJ is dancing and singing. Idols with extra steps. But I do love idols, so who am I to chastise? And I am a low-key fan of D4DJ, having watched both seasons, started playing the game, and I listen to the music a lot these days. So of course I'm excited for the Weiss Schwarz set. There was one particularly spicy thing about the new set that really caught my eye, and I want to talk about it a little bit. The new link mechanic is appearing for D4DJ. I call it a new mechanic, however with just this set it's unclear whether we will see more, but I hope they do push the design space with this in the future. After all, the mechanic isn't explicitly tied to D4DJ. Basically, certain cards will have a link on them, not as I'm saying it here as a word, but as an actual symbol of a link chain, followed by the set name, so in this case, Groovy Mix. This lets the mechanic be used elsewhere, because if the mechanic is just the link symbol, then we could have Link Licorice Recoil, Link Puzzles and Dragons, Link Uma Musume. In the actual context of the game, it's equivalent to a trait. It doesn't affect turns passing, doesn't affect game rules or the board, except for when cards care about that trait. In the D4DJ set, only one group interacts with Link, Happy Around, the main group we were introduced to in Season 1 of the show. This limits the card pool, since the set includes all of the main groups, Happy Around, Lyrical Lily, Photon Maiden, Peaky Peaky, Mermaid, and Rondo. That's 1 out of 6 groupings of cards that actually care about this mechanic, and not every one of their cards care about Link either. This is a very conservative approach, but I think containing this new mechanic to a small test pool of cards is good. They can get all the data they want in a manageable way. I mean, considering the complexity of this mechanic, I would hope they don't go too overboard. I mean, it's not just a trait on characters, these are traits on climaxes too. Let's look at an example. Maho specifically lets you choose a climax with a Link and exchange it with another. Since she doesn't care which climax, you could have a Link climax from the TDs work with a climax from the main set. It's non-restrictive and opens up deck building possibilities and wacky plays like using Mooney's bar combo, which so happens to be a Link climax. You would get the summon off of her on play, but you can then exchange the climax, since its usage is done now, with something else, like the trial deck choice link that combos off of Rinku. You can basically double climax combo. There's also an incredibly bad play, which is to have 2 Mahos and trigger both of their effects at the same time. So you play Mooney's climax, swap it out, then swap it back in to get 2 different summons, which is incredibly bad because you're losing a bunch of resources, but it's the biggest flex. The fact that this is Maho doing all of these shenanigans is also really fitting, because in the actual story, Maho is the DJ of the group, meaning she's responsible for remixing and making sure songs connect from one to the other. Just like our character is responsible for making sure one climax connects to the other and that things on the board are able to function, the DJ is the backbone of the group. Regardless of how goofy it can be, it's going to be pretty fun to literally just remix your plays. Remixing like a DJ. Yeah, having this be in D4DJ is pretty convenient with its themes and concept being perfect for this kind of gameplay, where you are able to make links and connections between cards. But again, it's also just really fun to just build your own combo. Here's one I was interested in trying. There's a line of play where you can just use Mooney's combo. You play her climax to get a spawn, hopefully aiming for Ray, and to already have a Ray and a level 1 soul trigger Rika on board. Since Ray only looks for Link climaxes, you can still combo with her without doing swap shenanigans. You swing with the Ray, that wasn't summoned, give the trigger check to the summoned Ray, then you swing with the summoned Ray, and give the trigger check to Rika. Then Rika swings, sacking the summoned Ray which is already going to die because of Mooney. This lets you get away with using that temporarily summoned card for more value. Actually, the Ray being compatible with any Link lets you remix her as an alternative level 1 no matter what combo you do. You can pair her in this wacky moody gameplay, the level 2 Rinku, meaning she can sub in as your level 1 combo, or the TD reverse searcher. Hell, she can even slot alongside your finisher. The level 3 choice Rinku can swap herself out with a Link character from Waiting Room or deck, but the downside is there are only 2 characters with the Link trait, a healer and an on-attack ping 1. These aren't the flashiest things, and I wish we had more options, but I'll take it. You can kind of play a toolbox style of deck where you choose which is best to get out. But the fact that they let you also use these effects with a Link climax also shows that they didn't necessarily want to lock you into this combo, since you can just not go for all of the attack swaps. You can do anything. You can do something like play plus choose Soul with Maho and still get her effect. Or you can plus choose Soul with Rinku and still ping 1 with it. It's pretty goofy to think of it like that you can avoid the intended swap combo here, but you can. And to see all of these cards work regardless of what climax it is, and of what seems right, is super fun to think about. That is the beauty of the mechanic. Ambiguity. As long as something has Link, it works with anything else that cares about Link. That level of freedom to mix and match how you want to build and play is a really fun premise. The mobile game has so much going on in it, with sliders that modulate the sound, turntables that stop the play area, spinners that push notes up, and it all emulates the feelings of remixing a song like a DJ. And I think they captured that same feeling with the Link mechanic. Oh yeah, and calling it Link is very fitting. Well, I think it's used more as a literal, like, these characters and climaxes are linked together. Like if we had this in Spy Family, it would be a family linked together, or in Uma Musume, it would be the horse girls being linked together in their teams. It also works doubly here. After all, Rinku, the main character, when written out in katakana, is Link. And in the show, we even get reference to that, DJ Link. So yeah, they couldn't have picked a more appropriate set to try this out.